Thank you, and we are live.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to order. The first thing I'm going to do is the acknowledgement. I'll read the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Cavan Monaghan is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory in the traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to First Nations for their care for and teachings about these lands. May we honor these teachings. Next item of business is any disclosure of pecuniary interests or conflicts of interest by any members of the committee. Are there any?
No.
None by me.
Hearing none, thank you. The next item is to review and approve the minutes of the last meeting, which was March 14th of this year. Are there any questions or comments regarding those minutes from the members?
Look good to me.
Questions for me? Looks good.
All right, then I would ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
You can do that.
Dave, second.
Second that.
And all in favor? The minutes are accepted. Moving on to the main reason that we're here this morning. There's two applications before us. The first being a minor variance for 708 Ski Hill Road. And I'm going to pass that over to Karen Ellis to discuss that application.
Thank you, Chairman Semple. The first application on the agenda today is for a property located at 708 Ski Hill Road in part of lots 1 and 2, concessions 13 and 14, Cavan. The file number for this application is MB-01-24. This property is currently being developed with the Buddhist Temple and Spiritual Retreat Center. You may be familiar with it. There is some development that has occurred already. The applicants are interested in constructing an entrance archway at the main entrance to the site. The main entrance to the site is off Ski Hill Road. The new archway will be approximately 149.6 meters or 491 feet from the front lot line, and is proposed to be a maximum of 17 meters or 55.8 feet in height. The application was submitted by the Cham Cham Temple and their representatives of the architectural firm. The completed application form was accompanied by a site plan and a plan showing the elevation of the proposed archway. Those plans and drawings have been provided to you as part of the report package. The property in question is a significant size, and then it's about 173.4 hectares or over 400 acres, and it has lots of frontage on Ski Hill Road and additional frontage on Hogsback Road. So it's currently developed with a number of halls being recreational halls. There's a residential temple, there's an information center, there's several storage buildings, pagoda statues, ponds, parking areas, and access roads. The site is being developed in accordance with an approved site plan, and the development is progressing in phases. So with this application, the proposed entrance archway isn't deemed to be an accessory structure. In the zoning bylaw, accessory buildings and structures are limited to a maximum of 6 meters in height or 19.7 feet. The zoning bylaw, I can tell you at the time of crafting, did not anticipate special structures such as the one we're talking about today. And that's why the 6 meter height is standard across the board. So with this application, the applicants are requesting that we vary that maximum height limit for accessory buildings and structures from 6 meters to 17 meters. All other standard regulations of the recreational commercial exception 1 zone will apply to the variance and to the property. As required by the Planning Act, notice of this application was circulated by first-class prepaid mail to all assessed persons within 60 meters or 200 feet of the property, to all required ministries and agencies. Can you hold on 1 second? There's someone talking in my office, and I think it might be bothering. Sorry about that. I hope it's clearer for you now.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So notice of this application was circulated in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act. A sign was posted on the property. And as of the date of drafting of the report, we had not received any public comment. Since the drafting of the report, we have received an email from the landowners of 2318 Hillview Drive, Bethany, Ontario. This email is in support of the application. They have indicated that they know and respect the Venerable Master Daishi and genuinely applaud his extraordinary efforts in executing the vision and leadership for the garden and its growth. They always enjoy his visits to their home, as well as time spent with him over at the Wutai Shan Buddhist Garden, at the Cham Cham Temple in Toronto, or during the visit to China. They are blessed to have a marvelous edifice right next door and to know of its people and their humanity. Their unstinting efforts and the sacrifices made by so many to see it grow to its current stature. They're gracious neighbors and they are fortunate. There's a couple of more words, but they trust that the committee process is successful and this application is approved. The application was also circulated internally to Township Department directors. Building Department has received the required building permit application. The Fire Department has indicated that the height of the structure is higher than the fire department's firefighting capabilities. The current highest ladder that the fire department owns is 12.2 meters or 40 feet, but they didn't really object to the variance. The Township Public Works Department has no comments. In addition to our own staff, we also circulated to required ministries and agencies. At the time of the writing of the report, we had heard from Peterborough County Public Works that they have no objections, comments, or concerns with respect to the application. Since the writing of the report, we've also received written confirmation from Kawartha Conservation that they have no objections or concerns with the approval of the minor variance application. They have indicated that a permit pursuant to Ontario Regulation 41/24 may be required prior to any future development on the property. So that's what we've heard in terms of comments. This application has been assessed in terms of the 4 tests for a minor variance. As the committee is aware, we do evaluate it in terms of, does it conform to the general intent and purpose of the township's official plan? Does it maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? Is the application minor? And is the proposed use desirable for the appropriate development and use of the land? Our evaluation of those 4 tests has indicated that we do believe the application satisfies those 4 tests, and staff are recommending approval of the minor variance application with the condition that the construction of the entrance archway occur in accordance with the site plan approved by the Township of Cavan-Monaghan. This archway is in keeping with the style and scale of development occurring on the site. Planning approvals have been completed to permit the Buddhist Garden and Spiritual Retreat Center in terms of official plan amendments, zoning bylaw amendments, and site plan approval. We continue to work with the Cham Cham Temple personnel on amendments to the plan, but they are working together with township staff. So having said that, that's where the recommendation is, and I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Right, thank you. Are there any questions from the members of the committee regarding the application?
I'll just say clarification, Karen, has the site plan been already approved?
Through you, Chairman Semple, to Member Grant. Yes, we do have an approved site plan that we can do a red line revision to include this archway. It's so they don't have to go through the formal process just to add this, but we will red line it to include this. They've provided the site plan that was attached to the report to indicate where and the size and scale, and we'll add the elevation, the plans and elevations that you see before you as well.
Okay. Second quick question. Are all the other accessory buildings adhering to the 19.7 foot height limit? And this is the only one that's above that?
Through you, Chairman Semple, to Member Grant, yes. Yes, all other development on the site has been permitted because it complies with the zoning bylaw regulations.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Just one question for me, Chairman Semple. I guess Karen, you'd mentioned feedback from the one neighboring property. There's been no other inquiries from other neighboring properties?
Through you, Chairman Semple, to Member Glover. No, there have been no inquiries. And interestingly enough, we also did not hear any comments from City of Kawartha Lakes.
Okay, any other questions from the committee?
No, not for me.
I have one or two. This structure, what is it going to be made of?
To you, Chairman Semple, members of the committee, I believe it is a wooden structure.
Okay. The only reason I ask is because of the fire department's indication that it's too high for their facilities. But I obviously they have no problem with that. I know they've had a fire there and at some point elsewhere on the property. So they didn't really have any concerns about that, about the structure being too high.
To you, Chairman Semple, members of the committee, I think they've made the comment to make people aware of the limits of their capabilities. But at the same time, I think they believe that they would not need to be on top of the structure to fight the fire. They would be fighting the fire from the ground.
Of course, yeah. All right. How large is the total property, do you know?
Through you, Chairman Semple, to members of the committee, according to our records, it's about 173.4 hectares or 428 acres.
Wow.
So it's a substantial piece of property, and there are a number of temples and halls to be built yet. There's some landscaping to be done. There's an existing pit that they're working on filling in. So there's ongoing work, but they have made significant progress. And to be open and transparent, we have met with them informally to talk about some additional development on the property. That additional development will require additional planning approvals.
Thank you. One other question arising from what you said earlier, you were surprised that Kawartha Lakes didn't have any comments or concerns. Wondering why you said that.
To you, Chairman Semple, members of the committee, it's just City of Kawartha Lakes has an interest in Ski Hill Road because that's a shared boundary road between Peterborough County Public Works and City of Kawartha Lakes Public Works. So quite often it's a matter of professional courtesy that you just respond to a notice circulation saying we have no questions or comments, or if they do, providing that detail. So
yes, but this property is totally within our township then.
That is correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I have no other questions. Does anyone else have questions arising from my questions or Ms. Ellis's response?
No, it's good.
No, just maybe a quick comment too. I think I had read in the report, I guess it's my understanding, there are some structures like some of the main dwellings on the property that are already of a similar height, the 17-meter height. Like I think one of the main temples was in it. It's about that same height as well. Like it's about 17 meters.
Through you, Chairman Semple, to Member Glover and the other members. Yes, so the zoning bylaw currently permits the main structures to be a maximum of 17 meters in height.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee or comments? All right. Sorry, go ahead.
No comments.
Thank you. Do we have any members of the public that want to participate or speak?
Through you, Chair, I'll just ask if there is any attendees who wish to speak that you use the raise hand notification through Zoom. Okay, seeing none.
All right, thank you very much. Hearing no other comments or questions, I'm going to ask for a motion to either approve or reject this application with or without conditions. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll motion to approve with the condition of the site plan approval from the township.
All right, seconder?
Indeed.
Yeah, and all in favor? Thank you very much. The application is approved. Now we'll move on to the second application for 1855 Campbell Avenue. And I believe Matthew is going to speak to us about that one from the planning department. I'll pass that over to Matthew.
Thank you. Good morning. Through you, Chairman Simple, to the members of the committee. For you is Planning Report PEB 2024-23 regarding application minor variance 03-24 for 1855 Campbell Avenue. The Township of Cabell-Monaghan received the variance application from the property owner Roger Jenke at lands of Part 6, Concession 13 in North Monaghan, known as 1855 Campbell Avenue. The purpose of the minor variance is to decrease the minimum and rear side yard setbacks from 2 meters to 1.2 meters to permit the construction of a new 14.3 square meter or 154 square foot accessory building. The variance is required to facilitate a future installation of an in-ground pool on the property. The property is zoned rural residential, which does permit a single detached dwelling and up to a maximum of 3 accessory buildings. Table 11A of the zoning bylaw requires accessory buildings to be set back a minimum of 2 meters from the rear and side rear and side lot lines. The accessory building is proposed to be 1.2 meters from both of those rear lines. The notice of minor variance was circulated by first-class prepaid mail to all assessed persons within 60 meters or 200 feet of the subject property and to all required ministries and agencies. The sign was also posted on the Campbell Avenue frontage of the property. No public comments were received based on the application. Notice the application was also circulated to Township Department Directors. Township Building and Fire Departments have no objection to the proposal. We did receive comments from Township Public Works Department requesting that a grading and drainage plan be submitted to demonstrate that the grading associated with the new accessory building will not impact the neighboring properties. The notice of application was also circulated to ministries and agencies, including the City of Peterborough. They have no objection. After the drafting of the report, Otonabee Conservation did submit comments indicating that the application is consistent with Section 3.1 of the PPS and is not within a vulnerable area subject to Trans-Source Protection Plan policies. To date, Hiawatha First Nation has not provided comment. Our planning review did look at the 4 tests, including does the minor variance maintain the general intent and purpose of the official plan? This area is under appeal, so it's looking at the old official plan. So in that official plan, this still is designated residential, and residential uses are permitted in this designation. Secondly, does the minor variance maintain the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? The property is zoned rural residential and does permit residential uses, including accessory structures on the property. Is the proposed use desirable for the appropriate development, and is the variance minor? And our assessment came with yes, it does pass those 2 tests as well. After hearing public comments and considering all written submissions, I'd ask that the committee make one of the following options, being to approve the minor variance with no objections, no conditions, approve the minor variance with conditions, defer the minor variance for further consideration at a later date, or reject the minor variance. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Any questions or comments from members of the committee?
Not for me. It seems pretty straightforward.
One question, Chairman Semple. Can we just clarify, was there any input from any of the neighbors or any concerns with any of the neighbors? It looks like there's 3 lots south and southeast that abut the subject property.
Through you, Chairman Simple, to Member Glover. No comments from the public were forthcoming. During our consultation with the owner, the neighbor is also planning on building his own garage in the future, so he's happy to see this go up.
Any other questions, comments from the committee? Hearing none. Are there any members of the public participating in respect to this application this morning?
Through you, Chair, we no longer have any members of the public in attendance, so we are good to proceed.
All right. Actually, I just had one question. It's more of a curiosity than any other. Is this structure going to be a pool house of some kind? or just a
For
shed?
you, Chairman Simple, no, it's just for personal storage. We did ask if the pool equipment would be stored in there. He's unsure at this time, but he's not going to be building a second structure for any pump equipment. But it's not like a cabana or anything like that. It's more, he's just upgrading his existing storage garden shed that's there.
Right.
He
The
just
only
wants to
reason I-
make sure that a pool will be able to fit on the property after building it.
Right. The only reason I ask that is if it's a pool house, wouldn't you put it inside the fence? If
Right,
it's not a pool
right.
house, then it makes sense, yeah. All right, any other questions or comments arising from that?
Not
Hearing
for me.
none, I would ask for a motion to approve or disapprove or approve with conditions.
I'd approve with the condition that it be building occur in accordance with the grading and site plan.
All right, second?
I can second that motion.
All right, thank you. And all in favor? The application is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That pretty much concludes our business for today. Thank you everyone for participating this morning. And I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I can motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Aaron. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.